What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Trady back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about some Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers. Looking like frauds this season, because a lot of people had the Clippers this season coming out the West, because people saw the Clippers as legit contenders, including myself, because of Kawhi Leonard coming back from that ACL injury, Paul George fully healthy, and a great supporting cast: Norman Powell, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Zubac, Marcus Morris. People thought that the Clippers were going to be serious contenders. But this season, it's not looking real good for them, as they got a 21-20 record, and they suffer one of the worst ass kickings I've ever seen, as they lost 122-91 to the Denver Nuggets. And Kawhi and PG shot a combined 3 of 16 from the field, copying and pasting what they did in Game 7 a couple years ago against the Denver Nuggets. And now they did it again against the Denver Nuggets, this time in a good old-fashioned ass whooping. And now they just lost to the Timberwolves yesterday, and granted they didn't have Paul George, but what was the excuse against the Nuggets? And sure, the Nuggets are a great team. Jokic is playing out of his mind, and Jamal Murray and MPJ were there, but that's still no excuse to get blown out. So yeah, we're going to have a huge conversation about the Los Angeles Clippers. But before I get started with this video, make sure I like, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell for notifications, make sure I follow me on Instagram. The link's down below in the description box. And also follow me on Twitter as well. But without further ado, let's talk about these Los Angeles Clippers. Now look, I'm not a huge Clippers fan or nothing, or hell, I don't even support the Clippers like that. But I got a lot of respect for them, especially what they did in the 2021 postseason, as they were really impressive. And not gonna lie, if Kawhi Leonard was healthy, I think they probably could have won the NBA championship, because that team had a bunch of dogs on there. Kawhi was going off. He was averaging over 30 points a game on like 60% from the field against the Dallas Mavericks. And I believe he didn't even miss a single shot in the fourth quarter. And Paul George, sure, he had his inconsistent moments against the Mavericks, but outside of that Mavericks series, Paul George, he was him, especially against the Utah Jazz and in Game 5 where he went off. And also Reggie Jackson also stepped up in big moments. And also Terrence Mann had that game against the Utah Jazz in Game 6. So yeah, the Los Angeles Clippers, man, they were like grinding. And they came back from back-to-back 2-0 deficits. And then against the Suns, they lost in 6 games, as they didn't have their star player in Kawhi Leonard. And people thought that the Clippers this season was going to do what they did in 2021 postseason, as Kawhi was coming back from that ACL injury he suffered against the Utah Jazz in the second round. And not going to lie, I was kind of falling for the hype, because I really thought the Clippers were going to be some dogs this year. But it turns out they're acting like puppies right now. But hey, it's the beginning of the season. It's the New Year's, so hey, they could probably bounce back. What I've been seeing right now, the Clippers, man, whew, their offense is so bad. Like, so bad. Like, they're a bottom 3 offensive team in this league. And granted, they're a top 10 defense in this league. And like they said, defense wins championships. But their offense is so gross. Like some of the worst things I ever seen. They be settling for too many mid-range shots. I don't think they're aggressive enough. And they don't get rim pressure like that. That's the reason why they be sweating bullets and turning the ball over. Like, this team relies on too many threes. And look, I know it worked a couple of years ago, especially against the Utah Jazz in the postseason, but that's the Utah Jazz. Come on, man. You know they don't give a fuck about defense outside of Gobert. But this year, they've been just chucking up shots. That's the reason why Reggie Jackson and John Wall been walking bricks in some of these games. And Paul George, I'm not saying Paul George is playing bad this year, but for his standards, he's been having some inconsistent games. And that's the problem I have with PG. He is an inconsistent player. As this season, Paul George is averaging 24 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's doing it on 45% shooting from the field, 38% from 3, 89% at the free throw line, and it gives him a true shooting percentage of 59. So Paul George, he's not playing bad this year, but he does have some inconsistent games. Because Paul George, this is not something new. He was inconsistent in his time with Indiana, and he was inconsistent in OKC, especially in the postseason, where he was putting up stinkers against the Utah Jazz and some stinkers against the Portland Trailblazers, which led to early exits. And he was inconsistent in the 2020 playoffs, where he put up a lot of stinkers, and then he was inconsistent against the Mavericks in 2021. So yeah, Paul George, this is not something new for him. He is an inconsistent player. But I'm not saying Paul George is playing bad this year. I think he could potentially make the All-Star team this year. I don't think he's going to be starting or nothing, but he might be an All-Star reserve. And then getting to the Claw himself, Kawhi Leonard. Now look, Kawhi Leonard, he's a great player. Well, was a great player. Because Kawhi Leonard, he's not looking like the same player that he was a couple of years ago. As this season, Kawhi is averaging 17 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's doing it on 47% shooting from the field, 27% from 3, and 79% at the free throw line. And he gives him a true shooting percentage of 55.3. So yeah, Kawhi Leonard, he is not having the season that we all expect him to have. But I think it's a little bit of rust, and he just came back from an ACL injury. And Kawhi Leonard, who was in his early 30s, yeah, he's 31 years old. And he just came off of a minor injury. So yeah, I don't think Kawhi's not getting any younger. He is just getting more older. He's 31 years old. And he's a fairly injury-prone player. So yeah, I don't think Kawhi might not even go back to his old self, to be honest. But hey, Kawhi could prove me wrong, especially come postseason time, because we all know Kawhi Leonard rises up in the postseason. So hey, I might be proved wrong. But Kawhi Leonard this season, I don't think he's been playing that great, and he is still getting all-star votes over guys like Sabonis. Really? Kawhi, who's barely played this year, got more all-star votes than Sabonis? Like, come on, man. Grow up, fans. Grow up. They even got Jordan Poole. Man, that's a topic for another video. But as of the Clippers, look, do I think that the Clippers are still contenders? To be honest, no. Like, unless they prove me wrong. But we all know how the Clippers are. They come into the postseason and they try to disappoint somebody. We've seen this in the past. But yeah, let me shout out to the other players. Shout out to Zubac. I think Zubac is playing great this year. And Zubac even had a 31-29 game. So yeah, shout out to Zubac for that. And I think Zubac is a great player. And I think he's real key to this team. And also Marcus Morris, he's been playing decent. And the other players, Robert Covington is just there. Reggie Jackson, as good as he is, I don't think he's a real starting point guard. Like, to be honest, I think he'd come off as like a 6th man or something. And John Wall, I think his pickup was a little bit overrated, because John Wall, he's not playing bad this year, but he's real inconsistent as well. And we are kind of seen that as John Wall throughout his entire career. He's an inefficient player at times. And I think that pickup was a little bit overrated, because people thought that John Wall was just going to have this huge impact with the Clippers, especially with his playmaking. But let's be real, he be spamming pick and rolls. We seen that in Washington, where he spammed pick and rolls with Gortat. So yeah. And for the other players, Norman Powell, I think he's been playing decent this year. He started off really bad. He was shooting below 40% from the field, but he's starting to pick it up, averaging 16 points a game. But yeah, do I see the Clippers as the title favorites? No. Hell no. Number one, they're all injury prone, or should I say Kawhi and PG are injury prone. And it really bothers me that everybody kills the Lakers for their injuries, especially with Anthony Davis, but nobody gets on the Clippers for their injuries. Because Kawhi Leonard last year missed the whole entire season. Paul George missed majority of the year with that shoulder injury. And hell, even Paul George missed majority of the year 2020 in their first year together with the shoulder injury as well. So yeah, I don't know why people are getting on the Lakers for their injuries, but they should be more focused on the Clippers. The Clippers is just as injury prone as the Lakers. So yeah, we need to start getting on the Clippers about their health as well. So that's the main reason why we got the Clippers as like legit title contenders, because of their health. Now, I don't think they could really stay healthy for this much long, especially Kawhi and PG. They're in their early 30s. They're not getting any younger. They are in their early 30s. PG is like 32. Kawhi is 31. They're not getting any younger. So yeah, I don't see the Clippers as legit contenders. But what do y'all think about this video? Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button as well. This your boy Lil Trady signing out. Peace.